Hey, welcome to another Nomad Bike Rider video with one of my biggest adoring fans, my sister. This is Chris.
Hello, people.
Say hello to your new adoring fans.
Hello, new adoring fans.
So where are we, Chris?
We are at the, I don't even know what it's called, but it's the Smelter State Park.
Well, yeah, we're in Anaconda.
Oh, yeah, we are in Anaconda.
Where were
Anaconda, Montana.
Where were you born?
Anaconda, Montana.
Where was our parents born?
Anaconda,
All
Montana.
right, what's behind us?
The smokestack.
All right, what? Tell us about the smokestack.
Well, actually, it's the largest masonry structure in the country. Might be the world. But you can actually drive a Volkswagen around the top of that.
Let's show.
And
so this outer band here represents the circumference of the outer circumference of the stack, and that is the inner circumference of the stack. So what did they use the smokestack? What was it for?
well, they were smelting copper.
Okay.
And that's where all the toxins spewed out. And,
Right.
you know, kind of polluted the whole area. When I was a kid and I lived here, there was none of this green stuff.
Right.
I mean,
so there was nothing up there growing.
no. And
Right.
all the yards were dirt. There was no green grass lawns. Or,
Were people healthy here
Oh,
from that? I mean, how
Well-
about our relatives that worked at the smelter?
well, the great grandpa McQuaid, he died of glomerulonephritis, and they shipped him off to San Diego, and he died in San Diego. But our grandpa Brand, God, I'm gonna get emotional.
That's okay.
My mom's dad, he died at 46. He went to work up there on the hill one April morning in 1950, and they carried him down in a body bag.
Yeah.
Brought him back.
A lot of guys died up there, didn't they?
Yeah, and she, you know, my mom was just getting ready to graduate from high school. So, like I said, it happened in April. So it was a real blow to her. I think it kind of impacted her for most of her life, losing her dad like that.
I bet, yeah.
And our Grandpa Jones, when he worked up there, he would come home and he would have to peel his socks off of his legs because they were burnt to his skin.
Jeez.
So
And our dad worked up there for a little bit, didn't he?
our dad worked up there for a little bit, but he wasn't, you know, our dad, he wasn't gonna take any shit, excuse my French, and he quit. Once he was ordered to do something that he didn't want to do, he had to go down into some fire pit or something, and he was like, hell no. So he quit. He joined the Marine Corps, and he went, I guess he was in for 2 years, and then he came back to Anaconda, and he was going to go back to work up on the hill again, because that was the only place to work. And he decided, you know what, I kind of liked the Marine Corps. So he left again and joined the Marine Corps and a second time. And he went through World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And I got to tell you, my dad was a soldier.
Yeah, he sure was.
The Marines were in his blood. So, and it gave us a real nice lifestyle. You know, I mean, we ended up leaving Anaconda, but we came back for vacations and stuff to see. You know, my mom was a only child, but my dad had siblings, and we came back.
So a lot of our family are from here, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we're gonna do is we're kind of doing, the agenda here is to do a little family history, share some time together. We've had a good several days at Chris's house. She moved back here 11 years ago, and we're just gonna leave here, and we're gonna go through town and just look at some of our family's homes and where
Haunts.
homes and haunts, and partly for some of our kids and grandkids, so that they can sort of see it firsthand through my sister's eyes, because she's the family historian. I'm the guy who doesn't care.
Me and my cousin Barb.
Okay, yeah, Barb. Oh, hi, Barb. So anyway, let's go do that, okay? Let's go
Okay.
drive around. All right, so we're heading out of that little park, and one of the things I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see up there on that hill, the big A, but one of my very few memories of being here as a kid on vacations was hiking up to that big A, and it was one of the most miserable things I've ever done. I hated it because, you know, little boys don't want to work like that, but that's one of the more, to me, a famous landmark of town. But we're gonna drive around, and Chris is gonna show us some of the cool places that our family lives, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're in a place called Goosetown. It's east of Maine, where the working class people lived, and the hoity-toity people lived west of Maine. So, Chris, what's over here that we're going to show everybody?
Well, this green grass lot is recently they tore down my dad's house.
So that's where Dad was born?
Yeah, 1109. No, he wasn't born there. But
okay.
He lived there for a long time, and then the Troyer house was next door, but it burnt down. And then this white house here,
yeah,
is where my Aunt Fran grew up, Marisich. Wow. So there used to be a barn in the back.
Right.
Our cousins and we came here a couple years ago, and the lady that owns it is going to tear it down, but we were able to get a whole bunch of brick. And we got oh God, I'm getting emotional again.
She's getting emotional again.
We got the bench that their grandfather made, and it's being stored at my house right now. And but you know, that's a cool house. It's got a little cellar, and it's nifty. But
right.
This is East 3rd Street.
Yep, East 3rd Street.
And this is kind of like the Jones family haunt, where everybody kind of hung out. And if we go down to 905 East 3rd, that's where our great-grandparents, the Irish side, where they established their roots.
Okay, well,
and
before we get to 905, right, we're going to see another famous landmark in the Jones family.
I think 905 comes, 905.
905 should be right in here.
Oh, what happened? It was, there it is, right there.
909.
It's this one next to Wise Grocery, right?
So who was there?
So that was the McQuaid home, our great-grandparents, and the guy that lived there, he recently passed away. Really a nice guy. But we have pictures of that. It looked a little different. It had one of those old-fashioned porches on it and stuff.
Gotcha.
And then next door is the Wise Grocery Store.
Wise Grocery Store.
And that was a prominent place to shop in Goosetown.
Well, what about this place? Tell us about that one.
We have to, every time people come to visit that are family, we have to stock the Owl Bar.
Why do we have to stock the Owl Bar?
Well, this was the hangout for, it's kind of become a joke in our family. And you know, they would send like people like our dad when he was a little boy with a bucket and send him up to the Owl Bar, and he'd get the bucket filled with beer and carry it back home to his dad. As
a boy.
Yeah, as a little kid. Kids were always carrying buckets of beer home to their pops.
Jeez.
So, but that's got quite a history in our family, the Owl Bar, and we actually kind of laugh about it. It's kind of fun, but if you go in there, the bartender's really cool. He's really nice, and we've had some good times in there.
All right, we're coming up on Birch Street. What was this for, Chris?
This was where we went sledding. Can you see that up there?
Yeah, they can see it.
So we would go to the top, and it was all ice, the road, when we were kids, and we would sled down. And it's funny because you got these cross streets and stuff. Nobody was ever really hurt. So.
Well, it's 2021, and we can still shoot a cannon down the street without hitting anybody.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been busier when you were here as a kid.
Well, that's true. It was.
Yeah.
It was, you know, a little booming, but it was a fun place to go sledding.
Right.
And
well, that's kind of, for me, this is where my imagination gets fired, thinking about being a kid and, you know, being outside and sledding down the street and hauling ass and having a good time, you know. And
you can't, kids really don't do that anymore.
Not like that, yeah.
And if you got hurt, you know, scraped yourself up, your mom would just say, walk it off.
Yeah, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
What'd you get hurt for?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So we're heading, where are we heading next to see what?
Let's go to Chestnut Street.
Okay, we'll see you at Chestnut Street. All right, where are we?
This is our great-grandpa and grandma's house from the Croatian side of the family. This is Mom's grandparents.
Wow.
The Brnjises. And Mom was born here in the back. There's a little house. It's a garage now.
Well, let's go around back then.
Okay, and this was a grocery store. My great-grandma would shop every day.
Next to the house.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shop every day.
Jeez. All right, we're going to go around the back. So this is where my mom was born?
Yes. And it's been turned into a garage now, but if you scoot up, maybe you can see how tiny.
That's where Mom was born.
Our grandparents and Mom came here as a newborn.
What a trip.
And then
was she born here in the building, or was she?
I think she was born at the hospital, and this was where they lived. And then you see that little two-story gray. That's where her grandparents lived. And in the backyard, they raised pigs.
Jeez.
And when they slaughtered the pigs, they used everything. The blood, the guts. The only thing they threw away was the eyeballs. But they even used the hoofs as kind of a tool. And I mean, we're not talking ancient many, many years ago. This is like the 1930.
Yeah.
You know. And they were very resourceful people.
I'll bet. Bye, Mom. So this is Main Street, and so everything west of Main is where the hoity-toity people live. not in Goosetown. So we're just going to take a quick trip through. There's the post office right over there. And that was the Anaconda Hotel.
Yes.
Because this was going to be the capital at one point, or it was in the running.
It was.
Yep.
But somebody, not, I don't know, 30 years ago tore the top 2 stories off.
There was 2 stories on top, and they were going to tear the whole thing down, but somebody stopped them before they did. So,
and then this was a beautiful building, but they turned it into Dunstan Park. It's pretty.
Yeah. Anyway, well, this is the bustling downtown of Anaconda, Montana.
It's cute.
It is. It's a cool little town.
And they're doing lots of things. I mean, there's some surprises.
There's the Thrifty Drug where you can get your ice cream.
Donovan's, that's a great restaurant.
Okay.
And they have great things in there to see.
I'm already to turn out of here though.
Okay.
Because we're in everybody's way. That's the main street. All right, where are we at now?
We're at Mount Hagen Homes. My brother Danny will love this. 1104 there.
1104?
Yeah, that's where I lived as a kid.
Okay.
And Danny, you weren't even heard of or thought of then. So, we had great times in Mount Hagen Homes. We had some really good neighbors, the Haffies, the Czars. And we had fun. I mean, I guess we didn't know that we didn't have a lot. But
so you were born here, and so how old were you when you moved away from here?
3rd grade,
well,
4th grade.
Didn't you move once, come back, and then move again?
Yeah, but that's when I was younger. When I finally left, it was like the 4th grade.
Okay.
And
because Dan wasn't born here, and so you were away, and then you came back.
Yeah, Danny was born in California.
So this house is where our aunt and uncle Bill and Lois lived.
Yes.
And Johnny's in there, our cousin, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the places that I have memories of, because when I came here, that same trip that I was miserable going up to the Big A, I remember visiting our family in there. And these houses are a trip because they look so small, and they're like gigantic labyrinths inside.
Yeah.
They go upstairs and downstairs, and the stairways are so narrow, it's crazy. And our uncle had a store. We're gonna head over there. All right, so tell us about this market, Chris.
So this was Uncle Bill's grocery store. It was called Bill's Super Save. I have a sign from it. So just another one of the little grocery stores. I mean, they were everywhere in Anaconda, and people in the hoods just, well, there's lots of neighborhoods like that across the country. And
sure. Yeah.
But Uncle Bill was pretty good to us as far as
Bill's Super Save.
Yeah.
711 Park Street.
Yeah.
and west of Maine, so it was pretty upscale.
Hoity-toity.
Very hoity-toity. All right, this is CJ's house. We're gonna go in and have a chat. We're done looking around at town, which, you know, for the average person might not be very exciting, but
That's true.
but for us, it's pretty cool. But
yeah.
I mean, aside from all that, you moved back to your hometown, right? And unfortunately, you've been here for a while by yourself because of Randy passing.
Correct.
But you came here with Randy and the love of your life and partner of what, 30 years, 30-something years? Yeah, for a long time. And you know, you bought a house and you've made your way here. So I think what I really would want to know is opposed to all the mechanical stuff like, oh, Grandpa was born here, Dad was born there, that kind of stuff. Mom went to school there. You know, what is it that you feel about living here? You know, what do you get from it? What is the overriding?
What keeps me here?
Well, no. What is the overriding feelings behind the interest that drives you for this?
I love the peace and harmony.
Yeah.
I really do. I love the nature around me. I like that. I like going to run my errands, and I can go 15 places in an hour.
Okay, that's still sort of mechanical.
Mechanical?
Though. Yeah, like, so what are those deep feeling interests that you have? Like, what is the connection that you have besides it being easy? I mean, because you could live in Riverside and the store I like is just 5 minutes away and it's easy to get to. So
yeah, but this has a peacefulness to it.
Okay.
It really has a peacefulness and a calmness and a beauty to it that I didn't get anywhere in California.
Right.
You know, and
so there was no connection that drove, like ancestral connection, like you wanted to be close to where you were from, or that it had some sort of nostalgic meaning to you?
Well, nostalgia could be one of it, you know, part of it, because obviously, you know, I'm a very nostalgic person.
You're the family historian.
Yeah, but I really and I wasn't drawn here because I was born here and it's ancestral. I mean, I could go live in Ireland or Croatia or something like that if that was
for those
the case.
to let everybody in on the inside joke, she goes way back, thousands of years.
Yeah, I know my family history quite well, but it has a quaintness and it has a feel of it is nostalgic because it has a feel of childhood. Not necessarily the memories, but just the peacefulness, the simplicity. That's it.
It is simple.
The simplicity, and I don't find that in California. So, you know, I mean, even when you get rural, and there's 4 seasons here.
Yes, there are.
You know, I mean, living in 4 seasons like this is pretty cool. So
yeah, it does make the year have a rhythm to it, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And you get things done according to the seasons, you know? I mean, it's like
sure.
You're looking at the calendar and going, oh my God, I only have 3 more weeks before I need to have this, and this done, you know? So.
Well, you certainly, you know, 11 years is not a small amount of time. So you've become very in tune with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the seasonal. I love spring. You wake up and everything's green and there's lilacs and there's birds and and everybody's bustling about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then in wintertime, everybody just kind of goes to sleep, you know? And you literally don't see some people for a long time.
Right, because it's dark a lot.
Yes, and it's dark. And then, you know, summer is... I mean, you've seen how light it stays, you know.
Yeah. And doesn't that darkness and that cold and the lack of activity doesn't seem to have any effect on you, like emotion? Like some people get bummed out or depressed or.
No, because for me, it's the time to, you know, get other things done that you don't concentrate on during the other seasons. I mean, it's like what I need to do is seasonal as the seasons, you know? So
if it's your heart's desire, you want to stay here.
oh, I would love to, but at the same time, I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
True. And you have kids that love you, that want you to be where they're at. Yeah.
If something happens to me and I'm alone up here, that's putting a big burden on my kids.
Right.
Oh my God, mom's on a ventilator in the hospital. We got to get up there. That's putting a lot of pressure on my kids. So we'll see.
How do you think you got to be the most optimistic person I've ever known?
Me?
Yes, you. You're the most optimistic, bright outlook. I mean, you always, I mean, we've fixed a couple things around the house, and they're all right, but the average person would be scrutinizing every little thing, and for you, it's just the most wonderful thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Mom used to call me a Pollyanna.
Really?
Yeah, she used to say, "Oh, you're such a Pollyanna," and I don't know, just what's the point of being the opposite? You know what I mean? Of being.
So where do you think you derive it from?
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, get back to us when you contemplate. I mean, then that's a good answer, because it's hard to just draw an instant answer to something that isn't commonly asked.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of been that way for most of my life. I mean, there was a period where, you'd get bummed out, you'd have to go, everything was just, and it's like, what's the point? Like Randy used to say, everything matters and nothing matters. He used to say that all the time, so. Anyway.
Well, it's been a pretty awesome couple days.
Oh.
Yeah. To let everybody in on what that kind of meant was, I think I'm leaving. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
But the good news is I live in a van. So, and these kinds of things happen more frequently because of that, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2 years, the second time I've been here.
I know. It's true.
And that's not always the easiest thing to do.
It just chokes me up.
Yeah.
It was good having you here.
It was good being here.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. That's what the gift, one of many gifts that the van has given me, is is the fact that I'm just happen to be coming by. So let's, go see family and friends.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in states that nobody's ever visited, from their past.
I'm jealous. Really jealous. I mean, I just, even if it's just going to be a chunk of your life.
Yeah, right.
It's what an experience.
Yeah, it's been good. So, well, I love you, CJ.
I love you too.
So, for those of you out there who've ever been curious, when I say, "Hey, CJ," or my sister, or whatever, this is it. This is the wonderful lady that I've been talking about, and she's a part of my inspiration for the things that I do in my life, and she's our matriarch of our family.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you next time.
All right. Adios.